Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you and welcome. Hi, I am Toby and I'm a senior account manager here at Tel Group, delivering for you today the webinar, Building Cyber Resilience for Charities. We've all seen the news or heard stories about cyber incidents affecting organisations in the UK and around the world. Maybe the highest profile recent one being Jaguar Land Rover, which is still unfortunately ongoing and expected to have an associated cost of somewhere north of £2 billion in lost revenue, lost reputational damage, especially when you factor in the wider economic damage to the communities, supply chains, and businesses that are all suppliers to Jaguar Land Rover. However, it's not just large organisations that need to be on the lookout and have the right protections in place. A cyber incident can happen to anyone or any organisation, regardless of the scale and prominence, even a charity like yours. In this webinar, I would like to spend a few minutes with you to look at how we can prepare and ready ourselves to mitigate against these new and ever-changing threats, and the steps that we can take to keep ourselves, our data, and our organisations safe. Tel Group have over 20 years' experience as a leading technology partner to over 1,200 organisations across the UK. We are Cyber Essentials and ISO 27001 accredited, meaning that we are independently verified cybersecurity and IT specialists, and we offer a portfolio of products and services to meet the needs of a range of size, scale, and budget of our partners and customers. As mentioned on a previous slide, Tel Group are a one-stop shop for all charity technology requirements, from communications, IT services, and security. Tel Group are uniquely positioned to consult upon and deliver a wide range of technology products and services to enable organizations like yours have the best and most secure IT infrastructure to support your business operations. So let's set the scene. Why should we care? What is the landscape out there, and why are charities being increasingly targeted? What steps can we take? What does good look like? And how do we turn risk into resilience? Over to you. What is your biggest cyber concern? Have you had any recent incidents or close calls? So why does cybersecurity matter for a charity? The simple answer is money and opportunity. A charity is often a soft target. Charities keep sensitive data on their donors and beneficiaries. They have money in the bank.
Never used them before.
There are banking and payment systems, fundraising platforms, and public-facing websites and email services, all of which present an attack surface to cyber criminals and provide an opportunity for them to gain access or compromise the systems and ultimately get to your money. A cyber attack on a charity can have serious, far-reaching consequences that can potentially impact the entire organization and not just its IT systems. On the screen are some statistics from the Government Cybersecurity Centre on the number of charities that have experienced a breach or an attack within the last 12 months. Sobering thoughts. So what are the ramifications? Loss of donor confidence, leading to a grant or funding withdrawal, service disruption, preventing your business as usual operations, regulatory and legal consequences that absorb time and money, and reputational damage to credibility and confidence are all potential outcomes of a cyber incident. The impacts can be felt across financial, operational, and/or reputational areas and seriously affect a charity's ability to simply operate normally. Let's have a look at a real-life example experienced by a charity. Red Kite Community Housing was tricked into transferring nearly £1 million to cybercriminals. Through social engineering, impersonation, weak process adherence, and ultimately human error, the payment was sent and the monies were lost. This is a fairly extreme example, but government statistics show that on average, a charity loses over £20,000 per reportable attack, plus the ongoing unmeasurable costs associated with reputational damage and loss of general public credibility. So what can we do? To protect ourselves, we must think in terms of a three-pronged approach, covering people, processes, and technology. We can't just focus on one area and deploy just technology to solve the issue. We must also think about our people, the organizational culture in which they work, and the rules and processes that they follow. On the screen, you can see some recommendations and areas that we can address to improve your cyber resiliency. Weakness in one area creates risk everywhere. Key takeaway number one. Most cyber attacks start with human error. This makes staff, volunteers, and trustees your first line of defense. Cyber awareness training, phishing simulation exercises, clear reporting guidance, and ongoing reminders are all ways to reduce the risks in this area. Who's heard of any of these terms? Phishing, vishing, smishing, spear phishing, video phishing? Let's run through. Phishing is where the cyber attackers try and reach you via an email. So this is an email that might look like it comes from a bank, it might look like it comes from PayPal, looks like it comes from anywhere legitimate, but essentially it's asking you to do something and its delivery mechanism is email. Vishing is where it's happening via a voice, so via a telephone call, for instance. Smishing is a cyber attack via a text message. You may have heard of the "Hey Mum" WhatsApp spam attacks that happened recently and people were talking about. Spear phishing is where a cyber attack focuses on a key individual like a business manager or a chief executive because they're the ones with the authority to get things done and to bypass usual systems. And video phishing is an advanced attack using AI deep fake technology. These are all ways in which cyber criminals exploit people to gain access and to steal information, money, or to deploy the malware, such as ransomware. Please have a look at the following video.
Hi Lucy, we need to release the £20,000 grant payment today. I've emailed the bank details over. Please can you action it now?
That was not me. That video was made by our marketing team in 20 minutes, just using an ID photo and a short audio recording. What were the red flags? The video was asking for a request in payment change. It was saying, do things that avoid the normal approval processes. It was creating urgency and pressure. Please, can this happen today? And again, it's using authority. It's that spear phishing. It's using that name dropping. What could we do to avoid the attack? The video was calling for action involving a large payment and also requesting a bypass of normal procedures and processes. Adhering to robust procedures and processes will mitigate against this type of attack. Could we call back this person on a known good number? Let's look at passwords. Weak passwords are one of the most common ways attackers gain access to systems. Is your password on this list? Predictable and/or weak passwords are a key vulnerability. Enabling multi-factor authentication and adopting strong password policies will alleviate this issue. For those of you that don't know, multi-factor authentication is where you add an extra step to that log-on process, where you need to add a code along with your username and password to log in when accessing systems from the outside. This most commonly uses a mobile phone and an authenticator app to generate the one-time code needed to gain access to remote systems. This takes away the sole reliance on a password and keeps the criminals out. You could also consider the use of password management applications such as Bitwarden to improve the strength and ease of use of managing passwords when gaining access to multiple sites and services. So how do attackers compromise weak passwords? One of the ways they do this is using rainbow tables and brute force attacks. Again, rainbow tables is a big old database of every single combination of every single key. On the screen are results of how long it takes to compromise a weak password using rainbow tables and brute force attack. It's therefore strongly recommended to use a complex password, enable multi-factor authentication, and adopt a robust password policy to reduce this risk. Moving on from people, let's look at how technology can be used to help us. We've already mentioned multi-factor authentication that makes stolen or compromised credentials harder to misuse, but what else could we consider? IT systems and software should be kept up to date and correctly patched and configured to protect against known vulnerabilities. Antivirus software, EDR technology, monitoring, and backup systems will provide the ability to detect attacks and enable recovery if needed. We also need to secure the use of AI within our organizations and prevent the use of shadow AI. If you don't have an AI policy, you'll find your users are just using it. We need to control what data is being shared with it, how it's accessed, what questions are being asked, what's being asked to be generated, and bring that in-house and under a controlled umbrella. AI is another data loss vulnerability that we need to secure. Does your charity have an AI use policy? So how can policies and procedures contribute in this? What are our organization's rules, regulations, and recommendations? How do we secure decision making? What are the processes that are followed when making payments or changing payment details, for instance? Do you have a clear response procedure in the event of an incident? Regular updates and reviews ensure the best safety and resiliency. How can Tel Group help? A good place to start is with a cyber audit. Where are we now? Where do we need to be? What would an improvement plan be like? How should spend be prioritized? A cyber audit will review and make recommendations to improve your network security, the infrastructure design, configuration and optimization, and internet connectivity and resiliency. A link will be in the chat with a form to fill out for any inquiries on a cyber audit for your charity. Tel Group are able to tailor a support solution for your organization to secure, reliable operations, keep systems updated, and protect your data and people across your charity. We will work with you to develop a roadmap to meet your short to long-term organizational goals. Here are some takeaways and tips. Please let me know following the session if you would like to know more on any of these. What other resources are available to you? Well, free cybersecurity advice and tools are available from the gov.uk website and also the National Cyber Security Centre, NCSC websites. So we will send a free cyber starter guide, cyber resilience starter guide, and the cyber security audit information pack following this webinar. Thank you very much for your time. Are there any questions? That sounds like a no. Well, thank you very much for your time, everybody, today. Please remember that in the chat was a link to any questions that you might have, and also a form to fill out if you would like to arrange a cyber audit. Other than that, please do have a look at the gov.uk National Cyber Security Centre websites for more information. And I wish you well. Thank you very much. I've been Toby. Goodbye.